And number one seeded Indiana State Sycamores are with us. They have a date in the championship game tomorrow afternoon on CBS. Head coach Josh Schertz is surrounded by his student body, Ryan Conwell, Robbie Avila. We're going to ask Coach Schertz to start with a statement on this game, and we'll go to questions for all three of the Sycamores on the dais. Josh, please.
First, just want to congratulate Jake and the Panthers, Northern Iowa Panthers, on a great season. It's not surprising. Them playing their best basketball down the stretch run. Obviously had huge wins over Bradley and Drake and Belmont here in the last few weeks. And, that's a program that I've told, Jake this, we really want to kind of model ourselves after, not just the consistent success, but the class in which they run it with and then the whole operation. That's something that, if you can build something like that in Cedar Falls, you can build something like that in Terre Haute. So credit to those guys and obviously Coach Jake, who's obviously an iconic figure here in the Valley. Proud of our guys. Thought it was that was as well as we played all year. I thought we really we had pockets of the game where we weren't great. Got a little loose defensively at times, but I thought we our switching was good. I thought we fought. I thought offensively, we had a stretch in the first half where we got up, I think 17 or 19, and we missed a couple layups. Missed a couple open threes, mainly these two guys to my right and left. But kidding. I'm not kidding. Actually, it was them. But they did okay though otherwise. So, but no, we got some good looks. We just missed. And I thought we did a great job of attacking. We saw it tonight. We saw, they some points they were switching all five. We saw, what we call basically like dorking, putting a guy in the paint and not guarding Jason Kent or Jake Wolf. I thought we attacked that. We saw zone. We saw a little bit of everything, and I thought our guys were just, so smart and so intelligent and so unselfish with how they attacked it. So great performance on both ends. We're going to need that and more tomorrow to get what we came here for.
We'll start right here in the second row. Number 2 is on the aisle.
For Robbie, just the start that you got off to hitting the threes, just if you could just walk through that, and especially the last one from 26, 27.
Just kind of after I made the first one, I started to get a little bit more confident, and as the second one came down, I started to feel it a little bit, and then the third and fourth one came down. But it was just great to get off to a hot start like that. I think I really needed it to push this game. But I was just trusting what the defense was giving me and, what our system is. And so just glad to be able to kind of have that start to get to this game.
Coach, you spoke very highly of Julian Larry yesterday. He was fantastic again today. Can you talk about his impact for your guys' team and then his growth as a player in the 4 years he's been with your program?
Yeah, it's our trajectory kind of coincides with his trajectory. He's become as good a guard as in the league. He's obviously and now 2-time all defense. He probably wouldn't win Defensive Player of the Year because he's not going to put up the block or steal numbers, but individual defensively, I think he's head and shoulders the best perimeter defender in the league. And then, his ability to touch paint, his athleticism, his playmaking skills, his ability to get his shoulders by and put pressure on the rim. He's a terrific finisher. We talk a lot about impacting and affecting winning, and Julian puts his fingerprints on the game in so many different ways, and he makes the game easier for Ryan, Isaiah, Robbie, and Jason. Just like they make the game easier for him, they provide him all that spacing, right? It all, it's like a puzzle, and the pieces all, when you get it right, the pieces all complement each other, amplify each other, and make each other better. And these guys, the way they play, it allows them to play to their strengths, and they make each other better. Julian certainly makes the game a lot easier for these guys, and he puts his fingerprints on winning in a myriad of ways. A lot seen, like 17 and 7, and a lot unseen, where he's getting a blender started, touching paint, creating rotation, and allowing our guys to play behind that. There's nobody better in the league at touching paint.
Right here in the front row.
Robbie, going back to the three-point shot today, being a stretch, being 6'10", how do you use your size advantage to play this offense against guys that really aren't used to being able to guard that perimeter and are used to guarding the paint?
I think just being able to use my versatility on offense, it really throws defenses to, kind of makes them pick their poison. If you want to put a smaller guy that's going to guard me on the perimeter will just go ahead and, put me down in a little post and, I'll do my work down there. But if you're going to put a bigger, slower guy on me to cover the post, then I'm going to go out there and, be able to hit those outside shots. And so just being able to use, my versatility within this offense is just something that we're able to do. And I'm just able to pick my spots.
Left-hand side.
Ryan, that's another well-rounded game for you. 20 points again. How critical is it for you to just get dialed in? Like how much is it right now? Just you kind of just being in the zone out there right now.
First and foremost, I want to say all glory to God. I think it's very important for me to be in the zone, just for my teammates. I know they need me, but on the other end, I need them. So I want to give credit to them, just for, putting me, and the coaching staff putting me in the right positions, to be able to succeed out there on the court. So I think it's just, I play with a great group of guys and for a great coaching staff that allow me to, go out there and perform the way I do. So.
And then Robbie, you guys got tripped up at this stage last year. There's still obviously one more game to go here, but I mean, what can you say about coming out and making sure you guys kind of, stood on business today?
Obviously last year, we had a couple guys on the team return from last year that kind of had that sour taste in their mouth, from, losing off a 1-point rebound. And we kind of used that as like an extra edge to really get to this point. But I just being able to get over that hump, being able to have an opportunity to play for a championship is always, a great opportunity. And we're just excited to be able to play on Sunday and, hopefully get it done.
Coach, the three-point shooting display we saw today kind of goes back to January. You hadn't seen it in a few weeks. You kept saying you were getting the shots you want, and they weren't falling. Was it something you saw, or do you just think you guys got hot and fed off each other like you were doing before?
No, I told them to save it till now. I told them earlier in that Stroud's like, hey, let's not mess. Bring them all here to St. Louis. No, it's shooting is fickle. I mean, it's there's a qualitative and quantitative, obviously, analysis to it. So to me, obviously, quantitatively, I mean, it's whatever your percentages are. Qualitative is more important to me. Is what's our shot profile looking like? And are we hunting great offensively, which is the core tenet of what we do. And so I thought we were getting good looks. They weren't going in. But, it's like, I mean, look, Ryan had 20 points and 13 rebounds, I mean, as a guard. And first half, he was 0 for 5, and they were all great looks, and he's a great shooter. Second half, he made a couple big ones. I mean, and so I think we've shot it well the first 2 games here. Hopefully that sustains the rest of the season. But I just think shooting is fickle. If you only win when you make shots, you're just not going to be a very good team. You're not going to win anything of significance because you're not going to make enough shots over the course of a season to overcome it. You're not going to be able to win enough games. So I think these guys, it's underrated because but we are or were, have been the Valley #1 defensive team as well. And I think that's held us down when we struggled like Drake at home. We were 7 for 30 from 3, but we find a way to win the game. So hopefully, though, this good streak continues into tomorrow. It'll be nice to shoot the ball that well again, in the championship game.
You got 3 questions up, starting right here. Go.
Ryan, I know when you transferred here, you talked about how important it was to come back close to home. So just given your journey and as an Indiana kid, what's it mean to you to kind of be one of the guys that's getting this team to have one of the best seasons you guys have ever had?
Yeah, it's definitely been a blessing just being able to play in my home state, and it's been great. It's been I couldn't ask for anything better. I couldn't ask for a better team, better coaching staff. So it's just been a blessing just being able just to impact the team the way I can. So
Over on the right.
Coach, Robbie already talked about it a little bit. We've seen teams trying different defenses. Yesterday you mentioned like a matchup zone from Missouri State.
Mm-hmm.
Today he himself talked about like being in and out. How do you prepare for that in a final game like tomorrow?
Well, the 2 teams tomorrow, if it's Drake, they're going to do what they do. Bradley will play a little bit of zone. I think every opponent's different. I think the key is you don't prepare the night before. You start preparing in June for, basically teaching guys, what the answers are to the questions, right? Defenses ask you questions. You got to understand. We talk a lot. The first day these guys get tired of me saying it, but the key to being a good offensive player is understanding how you're being guarded and how your teammates are being guarded. So we try to really spend a lot of time throughout the preseason teaching them, defenses do this. This is how you attack it. These are ways for us to deal with whatever it is, whether that's, switching 5, matchup zone. Today was 2-3. We call it dorking, where a guy just plays in the paint and one guy's unguarded, so they weren't guarding Jason Kent. They were putting Hudson on him and putting him in the paint. We saw that in Cedar Falls. We didn't do a very good job there of attacking it. Did much, much better today, just because we were ready for it. So I think it all goes back to that. But at the end of the day, nothing works if you don't have really smart guys who are really skilled and unselfish. Like, that's the thing that makes everything work. It's not the system or the coaching. I tell people it is, but it's not. But I try to make sure that I convey that. But in reality, it's really the players and how smart and how skilled and how unselfish they are.
We are under 5 minutes to go in this session. We have 3 questions up. Go, please.
Robbie, how do you feel going into championship game tomorrow? Notice that you didn't participate in the warm-ups coming out at half. Was that just to get a couple extra minutes rest, or is there anything to be concerned about there?
Oh, no, I just, coming into halftime, I like to stretch, and so I sit on the bench, kind of stretch out my legs a little bit. Obviously, I had a pretty good shooting first half, so I didn't feel like I needed to shoot the ball a little bit more, but I'm just excited to be able to play tomorrow. Not every team gets to play on Sunday like this, and so to have an opportunity to win a championship again is, a blessing, and we're just ready to, we're going to prepare for it tonight and get ready to go out there and play.
Another example of how high maintenance he is, too.
We won't even speak on him.
Back to the front row here.
Coach, last time you played either Bradley or Drake, it was at the sold-out Holman Center. Now you're at a neutral site here, but Bradley and Drake are known to travel well. So is the Sycamore faithful. Talk about going in tomorrow, how it's going to be a neutral site playing this team, either of these teams.
Yeah, I mean, I think it doesn't feel neutral out there, which is great. It feels like, Holman Center West, which is nice. But, yeah, I mean, it's, at the end of the day, you're playing for a championship, and